screwed up in reverse.
I keep telling you, we gotta give up this preoccupation with keeping people alive or we'll never get out of here.
Actually, sir, he's with the CIA and he's on a case at this very moment.
I see.
February 28, 1983. Over 106 million Americans tuned in to watch the final episode of MASH, making it the most-watched finale in television history. For 11 seasons, Alda had been Hawkeye Pierce, the wisecracking surgeon who brought humor and humanity to the Korean War. But when the camera stopped rolling, what happened to the man behind the iconic character? Many actors struggled to escape the shadow of their most famous role, fading into obscurity or being forever typecast. Alda, however, had other plans. What he did after MASH will surprise you. From Oscar nominations to Emmy wins, from directing acclaimed films to becoming an unlikely champion of science communication, and even facing a personal health battle with remarkable courage. Breaking free from Hawkeye's shadow. When MASH ended, Alda faced what many considered an impossible challenge, escaping the shadow of Hawkeye Pierce. The character had become so iconic that audiences couldn't imagine him as anyone else. But rather than accepting typecasting, he made a bold decision to completely reinvent himself as a serious filmmaker and dramatic actor. His strategy was brilliant. He would create his own opportunities rather than wait for Hollywood to offer him roles. Even before MASH ended, he had begun writing and directing. His 1981 film, The Four Seasons, which he wrote, directed, and starred in, proved he could succeed outside the MASH universe. The transition wasn't without challenges. He later reflected, "You have to be willing to be a fool. You have to be willing to fall on your face. You have to be willing to look like you don't know what you're doing." And I was very lucky that I got a chance right away to do other things that were very different from Hawkeye. This willingness to take risks paid off spectacularly. Instead of playing it safe with similar television roles, he deliberately chose projects that would stretch his abilities and challenge audience expectations. He understood that breaking free from Hawkeye required not just different roles, but completely different types of storytelling. He leveraged his industry connections and financial success from the show to gain creative control over his projects. This independence allowed him to take artistic risks that actors dependent on studio approval couldn't afford. The filmmaker emerges. Alda's transition from television actor to respected filmmaker was one of Hollywood's most successful career pivots. His directorial work revealed sophisticated understanding of human relationships and ability to craft intimate stories that resonated with critics and audiences. The Four Seasons became a surprise hit, earning over $50 million at the box office and establishing him as a triple-threat talent. The film's success proved audiences were willing to accept him in roles completely different from Hawkeye Pierce. More importantly, it demonstrated his ability to write, direct, and star in commercially successful projects. His approach to directing was heavily influenced by his MASH experience. He had learned the importance of collaboration and creating environments where actors felt comfortable taking creative risks. As he explained, the fun of directing is that you get to read the script and you get to see it in your mind's eye. And then you get to get on the set and see if you can get that on its feet. His subsequent films, including Sweet Liberty and A New Life, continued showcasing his talent for creating character-driven comedies that explore deeper themes about relationships, aging, and personal growth. While not all were commercial successes, they established him as a serious filmmaker with a distinctive voice. The critical reception was generally positive, with reviewers praising his ability to elicit natural performances and skill at balancing comedy with genuine emotional depth. His films were often compared favorably to Woody Allen's work, particularly in exploring middle-class anxieties and relationship dynamics. The triumphant return to acting. While establishing himself as a filmmaker, Alda carefully selected acting roles that would showcase his range. His most celebrated post-MASH performance came in Woody Allen's 1989 film Crimes and Misdemeanors, where he played a slick, arrogant television producer, the complete antithesis of moralistic Hawkeye. This role was a revelation for critics and audiences. His portrayal of Lester, a successful but morally bankrupt television producer, demonstrated his ability to play unsympathetic characters with nuance and complexity. The performance earned widespread critical acclaim and proved he could excel in dramatic roles far removed from his television persona. The pinnacle of his film career came with his role as Senator Ralph Owen Brewster in Martin Scorsese's 2004 epic The Aviator. His portrayal of the morally compromised politician earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor, cementing his status as a respected film actor decades after MASH. Alda's return to television was equally strategic and successful. His guest appearance on ER in 1999 playing Dr. Gabriel Lawrence earned him an Emmy nomination and demonstrated his continued relevance in television drama. But it was his role as Senator Arnold Vinnick on The West Wing that truly marked his triumphant return to television. His portrayal of the charismatic, moderate Republican presidential candidate was so compelling that it earned him the Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series in 2006. Reflecting on playing a Republican despite his liberal politics, he noted, "It was very interesting to play him, because I got a lot of mail from people who said, 'I'm a Republican and I've never seen a Republican portrayed on television accurately before.' And I also got mail from people who said, 'I'm a Democrat and I wish I could vote for a Republican like you.'" The unexpected science communicator. Perhaps the most surprising chapter of Alda's post-MASH career was his emergence as one of America's most effective science communicators. From 1993 to 2005, Alda hosted the PBS show Scientific American Frontiers, interviewing hundreds of scientists and making complex research accessible to general audiences. The genesis came from a personal experience he often recounts. During a dental procedure, his dentist used the technical term resorption to describe what was happening to his tooth. Despite being educated, he had no idea what it meant. This made him realize the massive communication gap between scientists and the public. This revelation led him to co-found the Alda Center for Communicating Science at Stony Brook University in 2009. The center uses improvisational theater techniques to train scientists and doctors to communicate their work more effectively. As he explained, real listening is a willingness to let the other person change you. When you're willing to be changed, you're a much better communicator. The Alda method revolutionized science communication by focusing on empathy and storytelling rather than simply dumbing down complex concepts. Could a former television actor really transform how scientists communicate with the world? The answer was yes, as the center's techniques were adopted by institutions worldwide. His philosophy was simple but profound. The best way to get a complicated idea across is to tell a story, not to lecture, not to list facts. Find the story in it. This approach helped countless scientists connect with broader audiences. Facing health issues with grace. In 2015, Alda received a diagnosis that would have devastated many: Parkinson's disease. He first noticed symptoms while reading an article about the condition. He was acting out his dreams, a common early indicator. Rather than retreating from public life, he chose to face this challenge with courage and humor. He kept his diagnosis private for 3 years before revealing it publicly on CBS This Morning in 2018. His reasoning was both practical and inspiring. "I thought, it's probably only a matter of time before somebody does a story about this from a sad point of view. You know, poor old Alan. I wanted to tell my own story before somebody else did. And the reason I want to talk about it is that I'm not suffering. I'm living a full life." His approach to living with Parkinson's has been characteristically proactive and optimistic. To combat the disease's progression, he maintains an active lifestyle, including boxing lessons 3 times a week, tennis, and marching to John Philip Sousa music. He uses his platform to show that a Parkinson's diagnosis doesn't mean the end of an active, fulfilling life. He continues working, hosting the popular podcast Clear Plus Vivid, where he interviews notable figures about communication. The podcast has become a platform for sharing communication techniques he developed through his Science Center work. His estimated net worth of around $50 million has given him financial freedom to choose projects based on passion rather than necessity. This independence allows him to continue advocating for causes he believes in while managing his health condition. Perhaps most remarkably, his work with the Science Communication Center may have more lasting impact on society than even his iconic role as Hawkeye Pierce. By teaching scientists to communicate more effectively, he's helping bridge the gap between research and public understanding. What aspect of Alda's post-MASH career surprised you most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.